What if I told you that Ripple is connected to SEPA, which is the payment system in Europe? That is 19 countries, up to 30 countries that could use XRP. What if I told you I have information here that actually shows you on a confidential document that Ripple is actually working with Amazon, working with Uber, working with Seagate? What if I were to tell you that I had amazing BIS information here, the G20 information here, when all of this is supposed to go live with ISO this year in November? All of that, plus a ton more, is in this video. You do not want to miss this video, guys. Also, I have a private Telegram group that I just opened. Links down in the description. Also, we are going to be doing a 30-day, every video that I make, if you refer somebody to the channel and you refer them, they subscribe, and they may leave a comment of who subscribed them, the top winners will get one-on-one sessions with me, the top 3 for 20-30 minutes. We can talk about whatever you want. The other winners will get either free Crypto Nerds memberships or free merch, guys. Help me grow the channel. All you need to do is send somebody to my channel, have them subscribe, have them leave a comment with their name, who referred them, and I will tally up the winners and we will have those conversations. It is a longer video, but you are actually going to love this video, guys. There's so much good information. Let's get into it. This is from Mr. Man. The FSB, which is the Financial Stability Board, will be reevaluating the 2023 implementation goal standards in 2025. Let's play this.
Thank you, Fernando. Thanks for inviting us to talk about our work.
Thank you, Fernando.
Crypto assets, like Martin said, has been taking up a lot of time and mental energy in terms of thinking about what the next step should be. If I can just start with a big picture sort of framework, which I think you're hearing from each of us. I just want to sort of maybe put it into my own words, which is I think there's 3 things that we probably are all trying to do. You've heard a lot about us trying to agree on minimum standards that can be applied globally, and that's a lot of what you've heard is us working on that. And Martin was just alluding to the second one, which is once we have those in place, we have to work to ensure that those are implemented consistently around the world. You can't have pockets where it's not implemented. It just doesn't work at that point. And then the third piece is, I think you heard it a few times already, is this is an area that's just changing rapidly. Martin referred to 3 different phases. Neil referred to some changes and how hard it is to categorize things. We have to have a framework in place that ensures that we're going to cooperate, coordinate, and share information, because once we put these standards in place, we can't just sit back and go, it's done. We have to be talking to each other all the time. So that's the sort of big picture of what we've been working on. That's where the firms are going to go. And we've seen with events already, that's just not a good outcome. And then we have committed to assessing the implementation by the end of 2025, the assessment of the implementation of our recommendation by the end of 2025. So we're going to let people put things in place, and then we're going to take some action.
So what you have here, guys, you have the Financial Stability Board working with the G20, working with the BIS, right, for crypto global regulation, right? What'll happen is the G20s will adopt a standard. Other countries that trade with the G20 countries will adopt similar standards so money can flow across borders without any issues. And they said that this will be all implemented by 2025, the end of 2025. Now, this could happen sooner if a black swan event happens and they need to rush it through, but that's what they're working on, and that is the timeline, okay? Let's keep it going. This is from Digital Pound Foundation. MasterCard has announced a group of leading blockchain technology and payment service providers are joining its new CBDC partner program, including the Digital Pound Foundation members, Ripple, and Fireblocks, guys. Just more partnerships, more things being built out. Guys, we know MasterCard is actually a partner with Ripple through some other companies, and I've done videos on that as well. This is from Real XRP Boy, not the fake one. He's the real one. Interesting perspectives from 2020 submission to the Secretariat to Financial Stability Board Bank of International Settlements. And so they're just showing you kind of, here's the document here. This is kind of COVID-19, right? COVID-19 has only accelerated the push for e-commerce and a cashless society. It goes on to talk about, let me just show you this right here. So this is saying, as a result of the increasing number of stakeholders' opinions, including those exchanges, custodians, and unsettled issues of crypto taxonomy, a tug of war as to who should regulate said crypto assets or under which regulators' purview or competence should the crypto asset fall under has arisen and caused, for instance, a lack of harmonization in the crypto asset taxonomy. And then it talks about, as well as litigation. Indeed, a crypto asset can exhibit one or more functions or features or a hybrid nature thereof. It could be a commodity, a currency, security, or an alternative form of payment. So interesting stuff happening there. This is from our good friends over at Link2. It says in 2023, banks will take days for wire transfers while trillions lie dormant. This is talking about capital that's locked up all over the world for the correspondent banking system. The numbers go from 5 trillion to 27 trillion. Somewhere in the middle is what the actual number is. Let me play this.
There's a huge incentive for these financial institutions to get into gear and use ODL, because they'll be able to take all those pre-funded accounts, take all that dormant capital, as Ripple has explained over the years, and they've used numbers between 10 trillion and $27 trillion in capital that financial institutions can bring home. And that means a lot to these financial institutions. Yep. So for anyone that didn't know the Nostro piece of the puzzle to this thing, this is bigger than you may have even imagined. And these banks really want to bring that money back home. So I just want to make that point, because when I speak to people every day, they have no idea that's one of the big benefits of using ODL.
Let me add this. When those banks bring home all that money, whatever trillion or billions that you're talking about, and they have that much more liquidity, what do they do with it? They give more loans.
Yep.
They give more loans to small businesses. They give more loans to individuals because they have the capital, and that improves, the economy outright. So it's almost tragic that it's 3 pushing 2024 and we're still operating. I would encourage any of the new people to the community to do a wire transfer today. It still takes 5 days.
All right, he goes on and just talk about how long wire transfers take, and there's a lot of good information there, guys. I mean, how many new services or how many clients could banks serve better by having all this capital, right? They don't need these no-show accounts anymore because they have something like XRP and XLM and XCC. I love these photos, right, guys? If you're brand new to the space and you haven't seen these, this is why I'm so bullish on Ripple and XRP. Check this out. You have the director of the monetary markets, the IMF here. You have Christine Lagarde, who's right here, chairman of the Saudi Monetary Authority. You have the chief executive Hong Kong Monetary Authority, and then you have Brad Garlinghouse, right? You need to pay attention to who's in these meetings because I love it. And then you have, this is kind of the wider shot, right? Thomas Jordan, chairman of Swiss National Bank. Of course, Christine Lagarde here, who was the former head of the IMF, who knows too well about Ripple and Circle. And then you also have Alwia. Oh, I'm gonna murder this. You ready? Pozdona. Maybe I got that wrong. And then she's the head central bank of Russia. And Russia did do some XRP testing, I think in 2009, and I've shown that too. And then 10 years in the making, right? You have Brad Garlinghouse. This is Ross Lecco. He's the head kind of compliance officer at the IMF. And then you have Jess Chang here, who now works at the IMF. She used to work at Ripple. Here's Christine Lagarde. And then you have some other people over here. So I love those photos. Ripple made protocol for SEPA. PSPs to use Ripple November 2023, SEPA ISO 2023 update. So it says, to achieve this end, we created an open internet protocol, a public tool that is free to use that enables PSPs to make necessary debits and credits to settle payment rather than rely on the intermediary. A PSP can use Ripple to securely and efficiently transact directly with other PSPs. All right, and then I'm going to show you more about the SEPA stuff. My God. So guys, SEPA is the payment system in the Eurozone. It moves 190 trillion pounds per year, and this was 2022. That's a lot of cheddar, my friends. A real-time credit payment service in Europe is already implementing the service in a 34 single euro payments area SEPA zone countries. Ripple, a technology partner, is offering international remittances through a decentralized payments network. That's juicy information. Juicy. All right. And then you also have Trangolo, a Ripple on-demand partner and leading cross-border payments provider, has announced the launch of its instant single euro payments area SEPA solution aimed to facilitating lightning fast, SEPA payments across Europe. Right on. All right. And this is kind of what it would look like. You have SEPA, ACH, Bitcoin, and then you have all the pools of liquidity, and then the Ripple wallet. So a lot of cool information. And then this is thanks. And let me just show you how many countries in the Eurozone. I think is it 27? Oh, 19 countries, excuse me. 19 countries. And so all of these countries would be able to use XRP and Ripple to do these payments if they so choose to. Okay, so that's really good information to have. And there's the facts on how much value goes through this system. Will Ripple take some of that value? I do think so, guys. I do think so. Lightning fast on Lightning Network, SEPA payments in Europe. But I thought Ripple was Exactly. Probably nothing, right? And it does talk about Trangolo here, guys. And Trangolo actually has way into China through UnionPay. So if you go into the Trangolo website, you go into the docs section, you go into countries, and you look at China, you can see that Trangolo actually can connect to UnionPay, which is actually bigger than Visa and MasterCard if you didn't know. It says Ripple ISO 20022 Interledger Protocol. This is just information, guys. If you want to go ahead and pause it and read all this, please do so. But I want to go ahead and move on. We're at 10 minutes, and I got a lot more juicy stuff to get to. Here you go. Ripple and JP Morgan. Hey, it's a possibility. Remember, guys, Onyx is JP Morgan's back end, but it's not a cross-border payment system. It's really there to be able to tokenize assets, like tokenizing securities and tokenizing bonds. But when it goes across border, you're going to need something like Ripple to do that, guys, right? Because it's not a bridge currency, right? So blockchain crypto processing is solving interoperability and data challenges across geographics. And guys, remember, JP Morgan does 10 trillion or 12 trillion a day in settlement. Citibank does 10 trillion, right? And Ripple actually has connections to both. So will they start getting some of this money, guys? I would think they would have to, right? What does that do for the price? I don't know. When will they start using it? I don't know. But I'm just trying to provide you with the information so you can be as caught up as the rest of us, okay? Benefits are secure, inexpensive, fast transfers in any currency. That is the big deal right here. Any currency. And so you have 180 currencies in the globe. So you time 180 times 180, I think it's like 33,000 and something. All of those currency pairs will be and live on the XRP ledger, and they will all have pools of liquidity. And when payments need to be made, they can draw on those pools of liquidity through AMMs and other sources. And it says utilizing a cloud-based ledger, connecting the world's disparate financial systems, enabling international movement of funds while riding the rails of existing infrastructure. That is the whole thing, right? You need to be able to connect the old infrastructure to the new infrastructure because not everybody is going to be upgraded at the same time. Now, everybody needs to be on the new messaging standard by November of 2025, but we're going to see how fast that actually happens, right? And so you have Ripple, and then you have Market Maker right down here, right? So a lot of really cool information here, guys. This is what I always wanted to show you. And then JP Morgan presentation acknowledged Ripple as a disruptor, right? Absolutely, 100% a disruptor. Ripple plus SCT instant scheme, right? And so this is talking about November 19th, 2023 is when this is supposed to go live. SEPA wide 30 minutes downtime period, right? So this is the date. This is when Swift, this is when JP Morgan, and this is when all of these other countries are going to be moving to this new ISO migration. And what will happen? What is going to happen? Now, we know that banks can custody crypto assets, but they cannot hold crypto on their balance sheets yet. And that is what that Basel framework is going to be coming into place in 2025. So we're waiting for that, guys. We're waiting for that. But there's just so much good information here. It says not only domestic instant payments, but also cross-border payments are expanding rapidly thanks to the emergence of new innovative infrastructure solutions such as Ripple. All right. And then you also have the stages set for XRP price explosion. You have U.S. jurisdiction, U.S. institution sales, JPM, BNY, Citi, BlackRock, State Street. You have Uphold, Coinbase. Outside U.S. Institution sales are okay. So thank you, Brad Kimes from Digital Perspectives. Cross-border flows are undergoing rapid changes thanks to Ripple, right? So you're seeing a lot more news media about this. Obviously, you're going to know a lot sooner than the actual news is because you watch this channel, and I love you for that. Guys, if you haven't hit liked on the video, please do so. It helps me grow, and I know you're getting value here because I see in the comments telling me how much you're learning and how much you're growing, and I love you for that. Cross-border flows are undergoing rapid change to the benefit of treasuries. Swift GPI and Ripple promise faster settlement with transparent pricing and better data. Competition from Ripple and other payment services providers will probably bring down the cost of cross-border payments. However, for treasuries with large volumes of costs but no time-sensitive cross-border payments, cross-border ACH provides immediate benefits. All right? Immediate. All right, here you go. RippleNet has every important component of funds transfer system plus liquidity management. Let's play this.
And the final two components of this, one is liquidity. And this is where blockchain comes in. This is where the cryptocurrency XRP really comes into its own. We use it to create global liquidity for our payment flows. And with that, we create much more velocity in payment flows globally. That's how that vision picks together. And finally, we want to make this technology very easily accessible. So we've developed API technology such that whether a bank is running it.
Sounds like Chris Wallace, guys. And look at the companies they list here, right? Why is Amazon on here? Why is Uber on here? Why is Seagate on here? I don't know.
in-house or whether, let's say, a corporate is using Ripple via a hosted service.
Look
the
here.
API is there to encapsulate Ripple processing and make the whole experience very easy to access and use. So that's our stack. And the message here is there's a lot more going on here than pure blockchain. So blockchain thinking and cryptocurrency thinking occurs throughout the stack. We've applied the knowledge we have and the experience we have very broadly to the entire portfolio of things you have to do to make a payment network work, including creating our own protocol, including using our cryptography for messaging, and also bringing our cryptocurrency into the liquidity piece. And we've also got away from blockchain completely in some ways in creating governance structures and rule sets within which companies, organizations can communicate with each other. And that's what we're bringing out to market now. And that's why one of the reasons why we're getting very good traction worldwide, because we have a complete set that's really ready for prime time versus experiments and small components which one day could be something.
We're ready for prime time, guys. I mean, look at, it's confidential. It is confidential, and they put Amazon, Uber, and Seagate here. Listen, now this is a presentation that they're sharing with other maybe institutions or central banks. Why would you put Amazon, Uber, and Seagate on here if you're not talking or working with them? You wouldn't. You would not. You would list companies here that you are working with. So this tells me that Ripple's working with these companies. I 100% believe it. 100% because of that. All right. Swift plus ISO plus DLT plus Ripple plus money in the bank, son. Check this out. Concurrently, efforts to improve cross-border payments have been developed in the private sector, which it always happens in the private sector. Examples of corporate DLT payment initiatives include RippleNet, Stellar, Partior, Finality, etc. Finality is going to be a beast too. All of this, if you want to read this, please go ahead and do so. We're just going a little bit long here, but this is talking about CBDCs, and I think this is talking about mBridge here. All CBDCs, CBDC construction, possibly with a special unit of account and native asset representing it, right? So all good information here, my friends. Oh my God, this didn't load. Shoot. All right, let's keep going. So I have another clip here from this gentleman. Let's go ahead and play this. This is says in a panel are members of the FSB, Financial Stability Boards, the IOSCO, which controls 130 countries that are involved in this. And this is really the securities side of digital assets. And they, I think 2 or 3 months ago, released some type of regulation or structure of regulation that they want to do all of those countries and all of those members and those participants. So this covers about 90% of the globe's securities. All right, let me play this for you. Also, you have the FATF, the OECD. I kicked the camera. I apologize. But let's go ahead and play this and listen to what this is.
Okay, interesting question. You're linking between policy actions in different domains about education, the vocabulary, and the cross-border. I'd like to intervene on.
It is kind of low. Sorry. I'll try to get Cass to boost this.
All easy questions. We've got it all figured out, so it's no problem whatsoever. So on crypto assets and do we work together and how do we work together? I mean, so the first answer is I sit there and I call Martin and he yells at me and I yell at him. Nothing like that. The G20 did give us a coordinating role in crypto assets, so we've tried to exercise that role. One of the things that we have developed is a shared work plan on crypto assets and activities, so we are all talking together quite frequently about, okay, well, what is your committee doing? Okay, and so we're already starting on something like that. Can we work together? So there is an attempt to ensure that we are collectively not doing the same work, but also not leaving gaps. So it's not a perfect thing, but I think it is a mechanism that we're trying to do very well. They're all members of the FSB. So when we decide on our work plan, they're all there to say, we're actually already doing that. Okay, well, we'll try to, just carve out this. So there's that. And then I think when I talked about the recommendations that we issued, I think I said several times high level. And one of the reasons was...
Guys, you have all of the world's biggest regulators working together with the G20 for global regulation of crypto. That is what's happening here. Don't get confused about it. That is exactly what's happening here, okay? You also have this from Edo Farina, and this is listing kind of all of the people that either work for Ripple or currently work for Ripple or worked for Ripple in the past. Michael Barr is kind of the head of the banks in the United States. I can't remember his exact title. I do apologize. But Rosie Rios, she was the lady who was the former treasury. A lot of the money that is printed out in the U.S. actually has her name on it. You have Craig Phillips here, Michael Warren, and these are kind of all of the agencies that they work for. You might have to zoom in on your thing. Sandy O'Connor, Chris Larson. I mean, You have to pay attention to this because these people actually are in the know of what's about to happen. And they wouldn't all come and to this company if they didn't truly believe something special was about to happen here. So just understand that, guys. You are in the best place you can. There was also this, and I'll play this video here. And so this is from Edo Farina. Again, he's been putting out a lot of good work. Go follow him. And this is talking about BRICS Journal of Economics mentions XRP and the XRPL and DLT in this paper. Check this out.
Economics, and in the 22nd of August there will be the BRICS meeting for shaping the world's economic situation. There we have a great document called On the Risking and De-Dollarizing Intra-BRICS Trade via Smart Contract. So you can actually open the document. So there we have, for the people saying it's a conspiracy theory, the BRICS are coming for de-dollarization, as you can actually see here on the document. And now let's have a look at it. So there are 3 mentions for XRP, especially the escrow capabilities of the XRP ledger, and you can actually see here funds needed to execute a contract can be temporarily pre-stored in a linked virtual escrow-like account associated with the contract to guarantee fund availability at the time of execution. There we have XRP Ledger 2020.
Guys, they're all working off the 2020 timeline, right? The IMF, the BIS, the winners have already been chosen in this race, okay? They've already been chosen. XDC is going to have an incredible decade, right? But XRP and Ripple have been chosen for a very long time. Do not let one regulator throw you off of that. Don't let price going down throw you off of that. You know you have the information. I don't watch the day-to-day price. It screws with my emotions because I'm a very emotional person as you watch this channel. So do yourself a favor. Just, if you're here to hold, don't care what the price is today. Don't care what the price is tomorrow. You're here for the long term, and that's what you should be thinking about.
And it's a very interesting article. I do recommend everyone to watch it. And we all know that the
All right. Chris Larson, Mark Treacher, Dilla mentioned as subject matter experts as the World Economic Forum, their contribution to the future of financial infrastructure, guys. I mean, what else do you need to see? What else do you need to hear? What else can I provide you to help you understand this better? Tell me down in the comments. If you made it to the end, tell me down in the comments. And I hope you can join me to try to push to 15,000. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Peace.